She pulled out all the stops. Here is the intro of the episode.
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, in her first ever podcast interview. It's happening!
It's not about the grandeur of a gesture. It's about I see you. I'm nurturing you and I see you so deeply. And I love being able to see your growth. Of all things, it's making me emotional.
I have full body chills right now.
For them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
Oh, you know what's going on. Someone wanted a lot of attention, and now they got it.
That was the whole episode.
That was the ep.
Yeah.
That was the premise.
Is that what it was?
Meghan Markle cried allegedly, but Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly just dropped a podcast-sized truth bomb so brutal it might have short-circuited her tear ducts. Was it heartfelt emotion or a performance that could win a Golden Globe in royal fiction either? Way, the internet's not buying it, and neither are these two. Get ready for sarcasm, savagery, and suspicious sniffles. Because this takedown isn't just petty, it's Pulitzer-worthy. What really happened behind those royal waterworks, you're about to find out.
Why don't you like her?
Let me count the ways. There's nothing I like about her. She is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim. My castle is too small.
Yeah.
The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore, but I'm going to put it all over my stationery and on the gifts that I give to my friends, while she never stops whining. And at the same time, I'm getting all worked up. I'm a founder. I'm over it. She's not important. She married for money. It's very clear. She bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
So, Meghan Markle cried. Or at least that's the story she's selling. Picture this. Dramatic piano music, a perfectly staged studio, and the Duchess of calculated vulnerability, milking every pause like she's expecting an Oscar for best. Performance in a non-existent tear scene. But hold up. Where's the tear? Nowhere in sight. Just flawless lighting, a strategically shaky voice, and a delivery that probably required 3 takes and a Hollywood acting coach.
That probably took 3 takes and a dialect coach to get right.
So contrast all of that with the way she talks about H and their relationship. Here is it. Is it 46 or 47, Lauren? You choose. Go for it. 47.
That his heart is even more beautiful.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now.
Oh.
Oh my God. Dan, I threw up in my mouth.
Yes. Yes.
Dan, when you do interviews on your show, do you do the Jamie Kern Lima reactions? Yes. Oh my God, there's something wrong with her. What? Wow, who communicates like that? She's the only thing saving Meghan Markle, because between the two, she's even weirder. But Meghan Markle, this is a tell. Okay, this is a tell. It's the same way on Valentine's Day, you see people post like, my rock, my life partner, the person who saved me. Guaranteed that guy is cheating on her and she knows it.
Enter the skeptics, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly, 2 people who'd question a weather report from Meghan, let alone a conveniently timed emotional meltdown that just so happens to coincide with her podcast's new season launch. They didn't share the screen, and Meghan didn't bother with a rebuttal. But it was like watching 2 bulldozers level the same overly staged circus tent. One did it with a laugh, the other with a smirk and a spreadsheet.
Okay, how much time did she have for this when she was on Suits, when she was doing the TIG, when she was trying to land the ginger from the royal family to marry her? Apparently none, by her own admission, but now she wants us to believe, okay, she's Nigerian and she's going to, I'll believe it when I see it. I look forward to all the time she spends in Nigeria helping the Nigerian people.
Full disclosure, I do think Harry's a but
he seems to be. And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
First up, Joe Rogan, the modern-day philosopher king who critiques BS while guzzling elk meat and conspiracy theories. In a recent episode, Joe unleashed a spectacular rant about podcast fakery. He didn't drop names. He didn't need to. The glass slippers he was tossing around practically had Meghan's size etched on them. Joe's got a 6th sense for spotting inauthenticity, like a bloodhound sniffing out steak. He dissected the anatomy of performative crying like a surgeon, wielding a machete. Why are podcasts suddenly emotional minefields? Buckle up. He's about to tell you. Bofo.
Suddenly emotional minefields.
Very strange.
It's very strange.
But it's also very strange that he was, I mean, essentially infiltrated by a very ambitious actress. You know, I mean, she used to be on
Was
Deal or
he
No
infiltrated?
Deal. She was one of the
Is
Deal
that
or No Deal
technically
ladies.
the way it works? Is he
I
infiltrated
think so.
or was she infiltrated?
Well, it depends on who's
yeah.
getting pegged.
Yeah.
It depends on the methods.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the briefcase.
She didn't like being objectified on Deal. And did you think it was an executive position, ma'am? Like,
Yeah.
You're one of the hot ladies holding up a suitcase for fucking. I mean, it's a game show. Like, how are you objectified?
I forgot about that show.
That's literally the show.
Since when did spilling tears on a mic become the gold standard?
Since when did crying on a mic become the gold standard of relatability? According to Joe, the modern podcast isn't about truth. It's about hitting the tear quota and using trauma as clickbait. And Meghan's podcast? Let's just say it nailed the checklist. Pregnant pauses, dramatic tone shifts, and what sounded like a quivering lip. Minus any actual tears. If podcasts had Oscars, she'd be dusting off a spot on the shelf. But, instead of applause, the audience was busy Googling, is Meghan Markle acting again? Joe's take was blunt. If you're weeping while managing your own production team, directing your camera angles, and probably editing the sobs in post, you're not exactly raw and vulnerable. Maybe you're just really, really good at playing the part. And of course, Joe did what Joe does best. He laughed. He laughed at the trend, the absurdity, and the fact that some people genuinely believe authenticity comes with background, music and perfect hair. His monologue wasn't just a roast. It was an autopsy of celebrity emotion, exposing not just Meghan's tearless tears, but an entire industry built on emotional manipulation, wrapped in soft focus lighting.
On emotional manipulation and soft focus lighting.
She is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated. Who the hell picks berries in a white cashmere blouse and white pants? Literally no one on earth does that. And like this garden, which is like the most over the top. Like we're all supposed to go, Maureen, to make our breakfast in the morning out to our gardens and pick our berries, our raspberries, our strawberries, our blueberries, our snozberries, and cut our mint, and then cut our flowers that are edible. But don't worry, she's a woman of the people. You can grow those just on your windowsill at home in New York, your edible flowers.
And don't forget your local beekeeper.
Yeah.
Your local beekeeper.
Oh, yeah, because she has a bee hive, which she goes, that's how they open the whole series with her bees. And like, don't worry, if you don't have this, just go to your local beekeeper. Clearly, we're living in different worlds.
Now, while Joe was
setting the emotional bonfire ablaze with a flamethrower of sarcasm, Meghan Kelly marched in with a laser pointer and a clipboard. She didn't just roll her eyes. She rolled out the whole surveillance tape. Unlike Joe's wink-wink, nudge-nudge approach, Meghan went full courtroom prosecutor, naming names and pulling receipts. And her verdict? If Meghan Markle's going to cry, she might want to invest in a moisturizer because nothing screams faking it like a tearless sob session and a perfectly contoured cheekbone. Meghan took one look at that podcast and said, "That's not emotion. That's lighting design." She dissected every detail. The controlled cadence, the strategically timed vocal cracks, and the glaring absence of any actual tears. No sniffling, no gasping, not a single mascara streak. It was the most polished meltdown since reality TV decided to call itself unscripted. Meghan walked her audience through the anatomy of the so-called emotional moment like a forensic analyst, examining a crime scene. This wasn't vulnerability. This was production. This was the Duchess of Drama doing her best impression of someone who just watched a sad puppy commercial. But instead of grabbing for tissues, Meghan reached for her. Mike, ready for take two.
Tissues, Meghan reached for her microphone.
Only thing she found was a rich, famous husband. If that's what constitutes being a founder, then sure, Meghan Markle's a founder. She found a mansion in Montecito to live in. She found a sit-down interview with Oprah to bash and shank her in-laws and accuse them of racism. But founding, putting your name on some cheap jellies, jams, and dog biscuits, I don't know, sounds like a fall from grace for me.
Meghan didn't stop at the podcast either. Oh no.
Meghan didn't stop at the podcast. Oh no. She connected the dots like a conspiracy theorist with a whiteboard. Those supposed tears? They just so happened to drop right as Meghan launched her latest brand initiative. Coincidence? About as likely as a sunny day in London. Suddenly, Meghan was the wounded Duchess again, bravely bearing her soul just when her name needed a little trend boost. Funny how that works. And the public? They saw through it like a wet paper towel. Social media went full detective mode. One user zoomed in on her eyes, dry as the Sahara. Another did a side-by-side comparison with actual crying faces for reference. Reddit turned into a full-blown forensic unit, complete with charts, memes, and someone with a whiteboard connecting Meghan to a suspiciously convenient bottle of eye drops. People weren't buying it, not when the sorrow looked like it had been slotted between a hair appointment and a brand strategy meeting. Not when the emotional monologue ended with a PR rollout slicker than a royal red carpet. And in case there was any lingering doubt, the timing was just too perfectly calculated. The big, vulnerable moment landed smack in the middle of a major publicity push. You could almost hear the PR team behind the scenes shouting, "Cue the tears!" and action.